Hello and welcome to Lucky Episode 13 of Be Gay Solve Crimes. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my two co-hosts.
I am Lucy Rowan Holmes. I am your local librarian and our third and final detective on the scene.
Hello, I'm Mia Mulder. I'm rolling up incompetently and bumblingly, buffooningly, for this wonderful romp that we're going to deal with today.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a fun romp.
We watched the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes, the first one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, like, I remembered this being a romp, and then I had to watch it. I mean, part of the problem is I was watching this at 2:30 in the morning, and so in the midst of that, to be confronted with Guy Ritchie at his most Guy Ritchie slop is a difficult exercise.
Oh, but don't worry, because it also stars Robert Downey Jr. in his role as Robert Downey Jr. for pure RDJ slop.
Sherlock, I need you to distract Ultron.
Is Robert Downey Jr. ever going to become, acclaimed actor Robert Downey? Is he ever going to escape from the shadow of his
please,
father?
Robert Downey was my father. Call me Robert Downey Jr.
I don't know. I'm usually not very fond of Guy Ritchie's movies, but this one is sufficiently Sherlock Holmes to have captured my Sherlock Holmes loving heart when it first came out back in 2009.
But is it? Because this, of course, adapts the classic Sherlock Holmes tale. What if a wizard? Do you remember that book from Arthur Conan Doyle? What if a wizard?
The case of the wizard.
Yeah, this is the movie that made 1,000 gay boys UK-wide say, "No, you're the Watson," and get into a very, very toxic friendship.
Yeah, because this was 2009, and so this was peak, like, Tumblr, Blorbo, Fujoshi nonsense.
We had not yet even had Benedict Cumberbatch arrive on the scene. This was pre-Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock revival. This was supposed to be the thing that kick-started it for some reason.
It really is, because I can see in this movie the mushroom cloud approaching.
Doing the Oppenheimer conversation where it's like, I worry that, you worried that we started a chain reaction that was going to lead to BBC Sherlock?
No, because it is. There's a scene in this movie where he deduces from the scratches of a wind-up wristwatch that the user is a drunk, which is exactly the type of thing that then BBC Sherlock Holmes also does, but with the cell phone and the cell phone charger. And is that a thing from the books?
It is. That's from the Sign of the Four.
So it's always been stupid then. That's good to know.
Yeah, I think that's a really key sort of point in regard to Sherlock Holmes is Sherlock Holmes has always been stupid. It's always been a series of stupid bits. And that's sort of key to our enjoyment of it.
Wow, the crystals are really not aligned today, are they?
Oh, no, I loved this movie. Loved it.
Listen, I can take myself out and, like, slap myself over the back of the head a couple of times until I, like, agree to like this movie. But, like...
It was your choice!
Yeah, because I remembered it being fun, and then I had to watch the fucking thing. And Lucy, I'm going to distract you here with, like, a small morsel of cheese. You're the musical one, right? What is... I have a kind of autism that makes me struggle with identifying instruments sometimes, and I'm definitely not just saying this to, like, lure you away from getting mad at me. What is the thing, like, that one, this is such a fucking ADHD car crash of a sentence. What is the one noise that this BBC Sherlock and Ripper Street all use to suggest, like, Victoriana? The, like, type thing.
That instrument.
Yes.
It'll be a mix of things, possibly a mandolin, but I believe it's almost certainly, especially with, like, Hans Zimmer being the composer, that is someone plucking the strings of a piano.
It does sound like an out-of-two piano. Yeah.
Rather than, like, playing it with the keys and hitting it with felt hammers, it's reaching inside the piano and actually plucking the piano strings.
So this movie is drenched with plucked piano strings. Every time anything happens, it really does not let you sit with it. It's like, by the way, this is Victorian. We're going to pluck this piano about this.
Yeah, I feel bad for letting Nova watch this movie by herself, crystals-wise, because my first note is, fuck me, this movie loud.
Yes. I mean, Hans Zimmer did the music for this, which you would not be able to tell, because Hans Zimmer is usually known for making good music, and here it's just like twang. Just a lot of twanging. And it's like, that's not really what I associate with Hans Zimmer. typically.
Hans Zimmer's Ripper Street soundtrack ripoff.
We will do Ripper Street eventually.
Future episode. I will talk about it. It did like at length.
We open on nighttime in London, if you can believe such a thing of a Sherlock Holmes film, as Sherlock Holmes has missed his cab and he is chasing a hansom through the streets towards St. Paul's Cathedral.
Yeah, he does some parkour
to sneak in,
which would lead you to suggest that it's 2009.
Yeah.
Also, in the back of this cab, we see a Jude Law.
I love Jude
Which
Law.
means the time for us sleuthing approaches.
Oh, it's coming. We are going to sleuth.
But across from him, in a court-ordered Guy Ritchie appearance, it is once again Eddie Marsan.
Yeah.
Guy who not only am I sick of seeing, but whom this movie is pretty quickly sick of seeing.
Yeah, we'll save that for the plot twist. But this is the kind of shit that Holmes needs to do in order to sneak into St. Paul's without having to pay the fucking visitor fee anymore.
You're still mad about that, and you're right to be.
I am. That was like fucking 30-something quid. It was ridiculous.
It was because you weren't willing to lie and say, yeah, I'm here for religious reasons, so they can't charge you.
I think if you lie to get into a church, your feet burst into flames as soon as you step in.
No,
right?
it evens out because you're getting into the church, you know? It's like...
I do think false confession is sanctioned to get into a church. I think Jesus had some things to say about that.
It's like leaving a trail of half-open bottles to get, like, leading into an AA meeting.
Exactly.
You know, it's not good, but if it gets you to the place, then...
Like a reverse Hansel and Gretel.
30 quid? Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, it is atrocious.
As Sherlock Holmes is breaking in Sam Fisher style to St. Paul's Cathedral, what we get is a sort of statement of intent from this movie that we are going to go into Sherlock Holmes's action hero past, which is legitimately in the book.
A lot of physicality here.
I have some thoughts about this in the sense that Sherlock Holmes's expertise in martial arts is in one line in the books where Conan Doyle really had to write himself out of a corner, and it was when he was writing them after he had to bring him back from the dead, and he was very mad about that just to pay the bills, right? Because people would not leave him alone.
He talks about him having a martial arts style called Baritsu?
Which he had fluffed the name of as well. It was a kind of meme-y martial art. It's like saying, like, a few years ago, it would be like writing in that he had done Krav Maga.
I was about to
British
make that
Empire
exact same
Krav
joke.
Maga.
But so we have action Sherlock Holmes, but he's also, one of the things about Sherlock Holmes is that he's smart, right? And we get... This movie is maybe my favorite example of dumb person's idea of a smart person.
Wow, your crystals were really not aligned in this movie, huh?
Listen, I say this as a dumb person, right? I have a distinct memory of being a young child and being like, I'm bad at sports, but people always tell me that I'm smart. So maybe what if I just think really hard and like fucking calculate the trajectories and then I get hit in the face with a dodgeball?
No,
right?
I completely agree. This is the kind of movie that inspired me to sort of be like, maybe if I think hard enough, I can plan a fight in advance and not get swirlied. And it ends up with you getting swirlied in the end. You don't escape it.
Sherlock Holmes has to like fight this guard, and the most memorable bit of this movie in popular culture is a bit later on that we'll get to where he does the same thing, where he like slaps a guy upside the head. I wasn't expecting it to open with this.
No, I didn't remember the opening thing.
The first thing we do is he's thinking really hard about how he's going to kick this guy's ass, and then he does it in an internal monologue as well.
Yeah, it's sick. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed this. But he runs down, having dispatched this one guard and stolen his hat, to go and try and interrupt a ritual sacrifice that is happening underneath in the
Very
crypt.
satanic ritual type.
Yeah, there's a
vibes.
really exploitative shot of a woman in like a wet white linen dress who is about to get human sacrificed, and you go, okay, sure.
I tell you what, though, I would make a pretty good human sacrifice, I feel, watching this.
Lucy,
Do you want to? Sounds like you want to be a human sacrifice.
Every day you say one of the most transfeminine sentences. But here's the thing. The guy standing over her with the dagger, dressed like one of the guys from Magica and speaking Simlish. Amidst all of this, I go, Mark Strong, I recognize your voice.
Yes.
I would know that anywhere. That rich timbre. I know that under there is Mark Strong. And I'm locked back in. I'm back in the movie.
It really shines and carries itself from good or like remarkable actors. Because they are all remarkable. I wouldn't say good, but I would say remarkable.
We have a good time. We have a great time.
We have a great time. and he plays.
You watched it at 2 a.m, Nova. What the fuck did you expect?
This mustn't register on an emotional level.
You know, I've started going to bed to try to fall asleep at 10 p.m. and like it has done wonders. You need to get on this. I've realized that I am no longer 18 years old. Sometimes you need to fall asleep and be in bed by like 9:30.
Anyway, Watson arrives, and
Yeah.
we get the core foundation of their relationship, which is them choking out goons together delicately.
Yeah, they love to goon together. They love
do.
to choke one out together. I appreciate the economy with which this film establishes that we are dealing with tough Watson. If you remember the Harker Vagrant comic of the different Watsons, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, you have blundering Watson, you have gay Watson. In this case, it's very much we have tactical Watson.
It's one of his. He was nicknamed Hotson by fans because they found him very, very attractive. You know, everyone wanted a mustache,
That's
right?
just Jude Law on Tumblr, you know?
He is. I mean, Jude Law. Jude Law's an attractive man. I'm not gonna sort of dispute this.
He's very beautiful. But we established that their dynamic is basically like bickering old married couple. You know,
One thing I do dislike here is that Guy Ritchie really cannot hold a shot for more than 2 seconds in the sequence. It's genuinely kind of excruciating to watch. It's very much of its time in the sense that people thought in 2009 that to make an action film you had to move the camera every 2 seconds minimum, and so it's quite hard to follow.
It's a little frenetic.
It's quite unpleasant to watch.
It gives it a sort of pub brawl kind of atmosphere that is in a lot of Guy Ritchie's movies, in my
The
opinion.
kind of pub brawl where you get punched really hard in the head every 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of thing where you don't really understand what's going on and who is fighting who and who is winning until the very end.
And because of this single mention of Bartitsu.
Well, it can't be Krav Maga because Israel doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. Now Holmes has to be like a stick fighter as well. So he's got like a cane that he fights with.
He is also that in the original books. Yeah.
A stick fighter?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the sense that you like clobber a guy over the head with a cane that you're walking around with. You're not doing like a screamer with it in the way that Robert Downey Jr.
Sherlock Holmes with nunchucks. No, well, Robert Downey Jr. is himself a practitioner of the martial art Wing Chun. And he desperately wanted to bring some of that energy to the performance. And they were just like, you know what? You are acclaimed actor Robert Downey Sr.'s son. So we are going to let you do what you like.
Sick of these Nepo babies.
Yeah. But crucially, he dispatches all of the henchmen.
Because this is the thing also about this movie. It's so it's so dense and so thin at the same time. Like some scenes so much is happening and some scenes nothing is happening. Like the Lenin quote.
So they unmask Mark Strong, right, whose character is named Lord Blackwood.
So you know he's the bad guy.
Yeah, he looks like he's just finished doing like the kind of box dye job I used to give myself when I was like 20. And the key thing to learn here is you think, oh, this is just human sacrifice stuff, regular Aristo weirdo stuff. No. Magic is real. Well, this guy's a wizard. He is a terrible and powerful wizard. And we know because he almost tries to impale Watson on a long needle
The
thing.
glass needle that hums, yes.
That you can't see.
Yeah.
The movie-making tactic of having anything long and thin shimmer with a nice, like, high-pitched ringing noise like it does in real life, apparently. I believe that Blackwood is named after a literary magazine from the Victorian era that turned down Arthur Conan Doyle.
That's
That's
very
pleasant.
funny.
That's fun.
But yeah, we take Blackwood into custody, or rather, Lestrade turns up. Eddie Morrison turns up and takes him into custody.
Who is a bumbling Lestrade in this one.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's a competent
Yeah.
Lestrade, and in this one he's a little bit of a bumbling Lestrade.
We have a kind of an oafish Lestrade, because Eddie Marsan has to be in Guy Ritchie movies, but he has to play cunts, right? He has to be really annoying.
From the Stanislavski method of being a cunt in real life.
Yeah, right. But so what we then get is we get some repartee between Holmes and Watson before they are ambushed by my hero of this movie, the fastest and stealthiest motherfucker on earth to ever set up a large format camera on a tripod with a magnesium flash.
Yeah,
Like,
quick deployer.
This guy moves like the fucking blind sight octopi. He moves in silence like the G in lasagna. He's like
The first paparazzi, turns out.
one reverse shot.
Yeah.
This guy gets into frame with all of his stuff and takes the photo of them to set us
Exactly.
into the credits.
But he's not fast enough to beat Sherlock Holmes' dysphoria. That man covers his face so fucking quickly. He will not be photographed.
After this whole little credit scene where the music goes twangy twang with an out-of-tune piano, we get sort of the premise of this Sherlock Holmes universe where Watson is moving out from their shared polycule apartment, and Sherlock is portrayed as having ADHD and being a bit of a mess. Shooting guns around the house for fun, as one does.
Yeah, like Gianmarco Ceresi or Nicola Sturgeon, if you were Joanna Cherry, I would describe this movie as queer baiting. These two, they do all of the gay stuff except kiss, and conveniently, Watson is now moving out to move with his wife, or well, fiancé at this point. And so you can do all of the like, oh, like we have some fun flirting and like badinage and stuff, but they don't kiss. This is bullshit.
They never kiss. It's 2009. Kissing is not invented yet.
It is like watching a gay breakup movie.
Yeah.
The emotional energy between them is that Holmes has gone full-blown like BPD mode of I am going to sabotage your future relationships and like make sure that you can only be with me. And as someone who has unfortunately been through that on Watson's end, it's unpleasant, I guess.
You should never have dated Sherlock Holmes. We all told you so.
Yeah, tell me about it. So Sherlock is a mess.
He's crashing out.
Vampirically reacting to Watson opening the curtains. Like, it's very Withnail and I in its own way.
Yeah, he's sort of trying to invent the silencer unsuccessfully and shooting holes in the wall, which is
he's trying to silence a revolver.
yeah. He's been doing some sort of like not really alluded to debauchery. We're not leaning into that so much. Like when Holmes tells the sort of perfunctory Mrs. Hudson to bring something to cheer him up, she comes in with tea. I was expecting cocaine.
Yeah. As you say, they're really leaning into the gay stuff. At the time, it felt like it's for comedy rather than any kind of gay representation at all. I do look forward to the era where filmmakers feel comfortable enough to strongly imply that Holmes is an egg with the same, veracity that we imply it.
Yeah, like one day transbaiting will win over, and
it will.
Tumblr 2.0 is going to go crazy.
What do you think I've been doing this whole time?
Yeah, that's what the podcast's for.
Oh god, I forgot to view this movie through a trans lens. I forgot the premise of the whole podcast.
Like every day I take these breast forms off, I wash off all of the foundation I've got covering my beard. I go back to the he, him pronouns.
But Sherlock has not been out of the flat in 2 weeks. He is staging some kind of like hunger strike sort of thing. And it turns out that the only thing that gets him out of the flat is his gay love interest, John Watson, begging him to come and have dinner with him, which he agrees to until Watson reveals that his fiancée is going to be there, at which point he petulantly goes, no, I'm not coming.
Yeah. Nakedly jealous. I would like a little bit more nakedly. I would like to make this more explicit, but yes.
I think they're pretty explicit with it.
More so. I want to see them hanging dong and putting, like, the dicks in each other.
Guy Ritchie.
Come on.
Put dong on main now.
That's what AO3 was invented for.
You raw dong.
Yes.
We cut to dinner at the Royale.
I hate this bit. I hate this bit for a very specific reason. I'm hammering the table too much because I'm angry, right? Okay. So Sherlock Holmes is neurodivergent, right? We are creating the chain reaction that will lead to BBC Sherlock because he's got like fucking autism or whatever. And autism in Sherlock Holmes brackets 2009 is when too many sounds are happening at once and you get very annoyed by that. But you can lock in and be charming instantly if you have to. Whereas in my experience, it's more like too many sounds are happening at once and you're very annoyed, and that prevents you from locking in and being charming instantly.
Yeah, if this was realistic, he would go off to the corner and throw up for a little bit and then come back after half an hour.
It's, a scene that made 1,000 people with sensory processing disorders, myself included, begin to flatter myself that, maybe being startled by everything is the same as being superhumanly observant.
If you notice everything, that's the same as being analytical.
Oh, I notice everything except the conversation that's happening in front of me.
Trajectories of stuff. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm there with I'm doing the Leo DiCaprio pointing at the screen thing, but for Phantom Thread, where he's being a real dickhead at breakfast. That's me. That's my sensory processing disorder. You guys got the detective ones,
Oh no, me personally, I have the ones where I hear a lot of sounds and then I just start staring into space until someone like shakes my shoulder and says like, Mia, you haven't said anything for 10 minutes.
reading from left to right here, we have Phantom Thread, Saving Private Ryan, Sherlock Holmes 2009.
And we will not tell you which order we are arranged on the webcams here. You can piece that together at home, detectives. But finally, Watson arrives with his beautiful fiancée, Mary. And Holmes is under strict instructions to not do any Sherlock Holmes bullshit.
Yeah.
To bite his tongue, to not do any deductions. And all it takes is Mary being like, psychoanalyze me, for him to go, oh, I mean, if you insist, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the lady insists.
I'll ruin the evening. It'll be fun.
One thing I do note here is as they're fencing, she says, oh, detective, like in, Edgar Allan Poe or Wilkie Collins, because Sherlock Holmes didn't invent the detective novel.
No.
It's still weird to have Sherlock Holmes be aware of detective novels, if you ask me. It's strange to do that.
Well, unfortunately, that's not borne out in the books. Arthur Conan Doyle lists all of Holmes's areas of expertise pretty explicitly, including having nil understanding of literature, but an immense encyclopedic knowledge of sensationalist literature. It is believed that he has read every single Penny Dreadful and pulp novel that existed at the time. In fact, in the first book, he even goes so far as to critique Chevalier Auguste Dupin's methods, the main detective from Poe's Murder in the Rue Morgue.
Is that one of his micro-interests?
Yeah, apparently.
Because isn't it also in the books that he doesn't know that the Earth revolves around the sun?
He does not.
Yes.
He would see an eclipse and be like, what the fuck is that?
Showing my Sherlock Holmes things he's never seen before.
Yeah,
Just
I think he would be
picking him up under
charmed
the
by
arms
it.
and showing him the eclipse.
Sherlock Holmes can't actually turn their eyes upwards.
Yeah, like...
Big John Watson says Sherlock's can't look up.
Well, this is the thing. This is why he's been stuck in his flat for 2 weeks. It's because it's on the second floor. He can't go downstairs,
His joints don't move that way.
It was cruel. It was cruel to do that to him.
He goes into I am very smart and talented mode and gives...
Yeah, he does the read. He does the read of her. You know what this is.
Completely inaccurately. And she's like, you've actually really quite hurt my feelings there. You're actually just kind of a shit, huh?
She just throws a glass of wine in his face, and then he sits
Which
there.
is, the social signal for, I think you're kind of a shit.
I suppose it does say that, yes, but then he sits there aura farming covered in wine, which is very funny to me.
He does. And then he does something rather interesting to me, which is that having insulted his best friend's new fiancé, and indeed deeply upset the guy that he is supposedly unrequitedly in love with, he seems to feel genuinely bad enough to go and do some kind of sublimated, outsourced self-flagellation and go and get the shit beaten into him in a pub.
Yeah, he goes to Fight Club. He goes to the best bit of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, the Fight Club missions, and just does some bare-knuckle boxing. And what's interesting is that the way this is staged, right, he's getting the shit kicked out of him on purpose, and he's kind of beckoning it onwards in a kind of flouncy, gay-baiting way. This would make him, strangely, a lucha libre exotico. This is Sherlock Holmes, in one of the strangest feats of categorization yet, is the kind of wrestling heel in Mexican wrestling whose deal is gay.
Listen, I like it.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. November Kelly's skills, knowledge of Mexico, immense.
Thank you. I try my best.
But this is also the scene where we do get the famous, this mustn't register on an emotional level.
Yes. Yes.
First, confuse target. Step 2, discombobulate. And he does this sort of like mind palace, like planning out the kind of scene, like he's playing Cyberpunk 2077 in one of those like brain dance bullshits.
The reason why he has to is because he sees Rachel McAdams and he's like, oh, I've got to win this fight. Well, he goes to leave, rather, and the guy spits at the back of his head, enraging Holmes and forcing him to press V for VATS. And then he goes, this mustn't register on an emotional level. And he discombobulates the ever-living fuck out of this guy, to be clear. I think we've all seen the YouTube proof of this.
Yeah.
Where he discombobulates the guy 7 times.
It's so good.
This mustn't register on an emotional level.
This mustn't register on an emotional level. First, discombobulate. Dazed, discombobulate. Distract target. Discombobulate. Block his blind jab. Discombobulate.
Yeah, well, again, this is the one kid at school who fancied himself to be Sherlock Holmes, who at the slightest insult starts flailing his limbs at that guy's direction.
Yeah. You can just say my name. It's fine.
No, I'm including myself in this.
I wish I could relate.
She leaves him a clue. She leaves him her handkerchief, which is monogrammed.
But he knocks the shit out of this guy, and then everyone clapped as he leaves.
Everyone's kind of stunned into silence to see a guy beat the shit out of it, to see a guy discombobulated at the discombobulation location. Like, seeing a guy fighting at the fight club has these guys stunned into silence.
It's also because like he does like a finisher combo, like from a fucking video game.
Yeah, he does.
Like he has a normal fight for a while, and then he kind of does a cutscene, and everyone's just like, "Holy shit! I've never seen a cutscene in real life in the 1800s."
I don't know what happened there. There was a letterboxed effect on my vision.
I suddenly lost control of my controller.
I wasn't expecting Sherlock Holmes to rip the guy's head and spine out of his neck like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. This is the thing. Is that I think that everyone being stunned into silence is like the melancholy anger management boys equivalent of like, and then everyone clapped, right? It's like you want to inspire awe in others.
I'm so cool. And he walks out shirtless and he grabs a beer from behind the bar and like opens it with his teeth and drinks it, because this is tough, Sherlock.
And so we then cut to prison, where Blackwood has apparently, seemingly, cast a spell over his jailer to make him writhe on the floor in agony. Everyone is terrified, and Blackwood demands of the jailer, "I want to see my boy Sherlock Holmes." Ooky spooky vibes. We're getting like supernatural.
Yeah, he's Wizard Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, exactly. I do love that the jailer walks in and just says, "What's all this then?" And,
there's so many of these in this.
Yeah, there's a bit later on where Eddie Marson gets to rip a perfectly earnest hello, which is gonna feel really good.
So where is Holmes? Holmes is above the boxing arena, doing what I would call me 10 minutes no wife, where I am just plucking atonal clusters on a violin for my own amusement and not getting any chores done.
Yeah, and Watson, his wife, has to rescue him from this by disrupting his experiments. It's like my wife being like, you have to stop modding RimWorld. You have to come and live in the real world now. It's like, no, but I don't want.
I can get the hospitality mod to work. Just give me some time.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm on the brink of a great discovery here.
I misheard RimWorld there as Oddworld, and so I was like, "You're playing Abe's Odyssey? Why are you modding that? What more can you get out of it?"
What's interesting as well is that as they're in the cab on the way there, Holmes points out Tower Bridge, which is being built, right, and says, "What an industrious empire." So we feel good about the empire, maybe, at this point.
Yeah, the vibe is very much like the British Empire seems not that bad. It's just what a quaint location for us to be in.
This movie sits for me in a very particular late noughties era of British imperial nostalgia that was sort of on the horizon. This is in the same tone of voice as the Great British Bake Off. The London 2012 Olympics had just been announced a year prior, I believe. Everyone's getting a bit cool Britannia about it in a way that's a little bit spooky.
Yeah.
And especially knowing which way the wind would then change for, 12 years of British politics.
Was there a resurgence of British geopolitics?
Oh, yeah.
Did it work out?
No.
David Cameron would become Prime Minister the year after this was released.
This is quite a Cameron-esque movie. But there is an interesting dynamic here where we learn that Watson has a gambling problem. And it alludes to a shocking intimacy of Watson gambling on Holmes's sort of fight club fights.
That's yaoi to me. That's
it
so
is.
hot.
It absolutely is. But more than that, we also have the Holmes Findom, where despite being completely kind of like dissolute otherwise, Holmes takes care of the money, and Watson's checkbook lives in Holmes's desk drawer. And I'm interested in exploring this. You know, I think this is sort of fan fiction prompt right here.
I mean, fandom can be like a healing thing for people with gambling addiction. So I mean, it's not just a fetish; it's also good for the addiction.
I think that's true of a lot of kinks.
Yeah, that was my read of it. Was that we're exploring the fact that Watson is similarly an addict in the way that Sherlock Holmes is generally portrayed as being an addict.
Yeah, it's interesting. We don't do too much with this, but I like this. I like this bit. And we see now as they go into the prison, like, this is becoming a slightly better movie. Guy Ritchie is relaxing enough that the cinematography is, like, holding on things. We're doing wide shots and stuff. You know, if you can imagine such a thing.
He soothed the corner of his audience that are really demanding to see Guy Ritchie-ness of his Guy Ritchie movie. So now that they're placated, now he can actually like try to make a good movie, and it shows. And as they arrive to the prison, you see Holmes walk up to Lord Blackwood, who has like scribbled a bunch of like satanic stuff on the walls of his cell, and he gives very much like Magic Hannibal Lecter, as you said. Monologue.
Quoting Pulp Fiction under his breath for some reason.
He's sort of like, I need you to lock in Sherlock Holmes, because like I'm gonna get out of here and kill 3 more people, and you're not gonna be able to do a thing about it. Because this isn't a mystery that you can solve, because I'm a wizard. He does also say, so now you're curious as to whether there's a larger game afoot. I have a little hobby here of checking in on whether or not Sherlock Holmes writers know what the phrase "the game is afoot" means. Game is an animal, like deer. Afoot means running. It means that you are chasing something. So larger game afoot would make sense, but a larger game afoot does not, because it's not a game like a match. This bothers me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Game, the plural. Yes. Yeah, the mass noun that is game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're out here chasing pheasants.
You know, I never thought about that, but it makes sense.
We're stalking deers. We've got our deerstalkers on.
That's why he's got that.
We very definitely do not have our deerstalkers on in this movie as a deliberate decision. Guy Ritchie wanted to move away from that towards something a little bit more bohemian, a little bit more, you know, Henri Toulouse-Lautrec, a little bit more, you know, fashionable, I guess.
A little bit more Ronnie Downey Jr.
A little bit more Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he does kind of Robert Downey Jr. all over
doing
it.
the Columbo thing of like bringing the sunglasses from home. But he's sort of taunting him in this megalomaniacal way of like, it'll be the last sane thought in your head before you kill yourself. I have that much influence over you. And Holmes is just sort of like, you're a bit weird, man.
Steal your mind, Holmes. I need you. I say you've come a long way down from the House of Lords. And I will rise again.
Yeah, can we get this guy hanged right now?
Yeah.
And Watson being a doctor gets to officiate at the hanging. They hang this guy. He is pronounced dead, despite aura farming on the gallows. Has nobody here seen The Prestige?
Yeah, his final words are, death is only the beginning. Just, you know, ooh, I'm so dark.
I do like that Mark Strong, though.
Well, like, you already know kind of what's going to happen, because Mark Strong is too good of an actor to actually die here, and this would be his final appearance.
You say that, but there is another example of someone being dressed like the guy from Magica and me going, I recognize your voice, you're too good an actor.
That's true.
And they don't put that guy in the movie. So it's sort of difficult to say. But yeah, that you're 100% right about Mark Strong. He is going to be in the rest of the movie, obviously.
And John Watson pronounces him dead. Very definitely.
Yeah, why do you pronounce it like that?
Even John Watson has pronounced him dead. And then we get Irene Adler.
Yes, we do.
Walking into the movie, ball crushing first. That's the first thing we see of her, is her crushing a pair of walnuts in her bare hands.
Oh, gets her
Beans.
attention. Subtlety.
Something like that.
Here's the thing about this is Catwoman.
This is Catwoman.
It is.
Yes.
From Batman, this is a Catwoman.
Yeah.
Which is so, I feel like doing a disservice to the actual, like, the base material of Irene Adler, because every adaptation makes Adler like a love interest to Holmes and make her Catwoman. Whereas in the original, like, she doesn't do that much. Like, she's kind of smart in the original and does a very specific thing to outsmart Holmes, and that's it. She doesn't need to become Catwoman.
Crucially, Holmes underestimates her. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea here is, again, with Watson, we're at the end of a long sort of relationship, and so now they're sort of comfortably fencing with each other, right? They're both trying to outwit each other, but they both know each other of old, right? And she's sort of doing Catwoman or Carmen Sandiego. I vastly prefer the kind of source material or anything that resists that temptation, right, to make it comfortable. Irene Adler's deal, to me, is woman who is dommy enough to totally destroy a gay autist. Like,
that's a very specific deal.
Yeah, just my type. Like,
it's a good Tinder bio.
I think it's so much more interesting if she is not into him, but is just is able to manipulate him, and he falls for it every time.
It's something that we'll definitely end up returning to with the Benedict Cumberbatch ones that are especially egregious.
Oh god, that's so much worse.
They also it tends to turn her into a damsel in distress eventually, consistently, and
Quite
her whole
often.
thing is like actually, being smart enough to evade people who want to do her harm.
Yes.
But gotta have Sherlock Holmes swing in to save the day. What can I say? She is Catwoman though. She is a master thief for some reason. She is wearing the Maharaja's missing diamond around her neck as a necklace. But she enlists Holmes's help because she needs to find someone. She is looking for Luke Reardon, apparently. But she doesn't give him that information immediately. She puts it in an envelope for him.
Yeah.
Puts money on the table as a wager that he'll take the case. She's like exploiting his addictions here. Yeah, I know, I agree.
Fun. And then we follow her out, as does Holmes, right? Although we sort of obscure this for a second. And she gets into a carriage where a guy completely in shadow speaks with Jared Harris's voice. Weirdly, it's the Jamaican one from The Expanse.
The version that I legally acquired still had the original voice actor in this, so it wasn't Jared Harris crudely superimposed over the top of it. They went back and re-recorded those lines after casting Jared Harris in the sequel. So I was expecting Jared Harris's sweet dulcet tones, and instead I got someone else and was like, who the fuck's that?
you got the sort of pre-James Earl Jones
exactly.
like Darth Vader,
Yeah.
It was just to go with a West Country accent. You're a traitor to the Rebel Alliance. That's an Irish there.
God, our impressions suck.
Yeah, but I mean, we had to cut the Jamaican Jared Harris as well.
Yeah, the Jamaican Jared Harris, he's like, I say, sir.
Yeah, man, sir.
But what we get is that
it
turns out that this mysterious shadowed person is looking for Luke Reardon because Luke Reardon was the key to whatever Blackwood was up to. We're not quite certain whether they're working as like one great conspiracy yet, but we need to find Luke Reardon.
Yeah, and we see that as they are interrupted by a beggar to whom Moriarty, who this is obviously, fucking pulls the Travis Bickle Derringer on. We see that Irene Adler is a little bit coerced here. She's not so comfortable working for Moriarty.
Yeah, the woman who in the book is able to escape people who are blackmailing her is currently being blackmailed in this story, apparently.
Like it has no semblance to the original character except for the name. It's literally like a complete opposite in so many ways. I actually hate so many adaptations of Irene Adler that are all like this.
I do love that you can recognize Jared Harris and Mark Strong by voice, because it reminds me of a story about Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe realized that he had a face for acting, right, when he was on the subway in New York City and overheard two people talking about him, and one of them said, "No, it's got to be him. Nobody looks like that motherfucker."
I mean, true.
It is
true. Who else looks like that? Come on.
That's true. Or as I call him, Willem de Friend, hopefully one day. Come on the podcast.
Yeah.
He does play a detective in American Psycho, incidentally.
Huh, right. That's
potential
true.
future episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we smash back to 221B Baker Street, where Holmes is taking off his disguise, and Watson is saying, "Why are you in an unrequited situationship with a criminal? Are you a masochist? What the hell is happening?"
Watson is having fun baiting him here. He does memorably say at one point, "She could sit on your back and paddle you up the Thames,"
which real,
yeah.
The 1890s Thames, Jesus Christ! Like,
make sure you don't have a single paper cut. There's also a bit where Watson's like, "What could she possibly need from you?"
What could she possibly need? Alibi? A beard?
A beard? In the LGBT slang sense of a beard? Was that in common parlance at the time?
What else could it be? Honestly, because what do you mean? Like, there can't be any other type of beard because that would be easy to obtain. You don't need anything else except for like an LGBT beard. That's the only thing it could be.
We flash back to Holmes following her. She has to have a scene where she kicks ass. Of course she does.
Yeah.
This is boring. It feels like sort of mandatory inclusion. And the main thing it makes me write down between following her and her like kicking two dudes' asses is, I want an Assassin's Creed Syndicate re-release. You cowards. Give me it. Let me do fucking fetch quests for Karl Marx. I miss it.
Exactly. As a Victorian lady, it'd be nice. It's a nice idea, just it's not very Irene Adler, you know. But well.
It's a shame that Assassin's Creed Syndicate was so poorly received when it had an exclusively female protagonist all the time.
We then we get a description of what Luke Reardon, the guy that they're looking for, looks like, and this is a bit that I very much don't like. Not
very woke of you,
yeah,
Guy Ritchie.
Something that dogs the second film as well as this kind of shit of jokes about Victorian era political correctness as an excuse to just kind of use slurs.
Yeah, barely even the excuse, to be honest, right?
Yeah. So Luke Reardon is 4'10". And therefore is a person with dwarfism. He is a little person, but Sherlock Holmes takes great pains to correct Watson whenever he says this to call him the M word.
You're obviously not her type. She likes ginger dwarfs.
You're misrepresenting the dimensions of foreshortened peoples.
Yeah, there is a particular formulation of this that they really, really like using because they think it sounds funny. It's no good. And they really over-rely on it as well. So even if you were the kind of person who thought, oh yeah, it's really funny, like you would still get sick of hearing it.
It comes like 5 or 6 times, and they really do this formulation like as if it's like an hilarious joke. They refer to the character more like that than the name. So at some point when they do refer to the name, Reardon, there's a part of you that kind of goes like,
who?
I'm not super sure who that is because they've been looking for the slur, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm taking great pains to like
it's not great.
Spell out this guy's name so that we refer to him by the name explicitly.
So I mean, so what happens here?
A constable comes in.
Yeah, a constable comes in and it's like, hey, weird shit's happening.
Mr. Holmes, sir, he's risen from the fucking dead. It's got terrible theological implications.
Because Lord Blackwood has escaped from the grave. A witness has seen Lord Blackwood walk
Mr.
from the
Holmes,
grave.
he's done a wake-up dead man on us.
And this is where we get one line that I really, really do like, where Watson's just like head in hands, face palming here, being like, I pronounced the man dead myself. No, he's not back from the dead. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, Holmes agrees to take the case, and Watson's like, I don't want to come. But Holmes is like, no, you must come.
It's a matter of professional integrity. No girl wants to marry a doctor who can't tell if a man's dead or not.
Just to like manipulate him into taking the case. I don't know. I'm slightly charmed by this.
So they get to the cemetery and the like slab has been punched open from the inside, like Wake Up Dead Man. And the cops are all milling around trying to find reasons not to go into the spooky tomb.
Yeah, there's a scary ghost in there. They can't go.
Yeah,
in.
there's like a grave digger who is like weirdly comic but about Elizabethan values and derails the whole thing for like at least half an hour. Most adaptations omit this guy. And then Eddie Marsan is there waiting for them as well.
Marsan, yeah. And so they go deep down into the
earth.
This will be important later. To dig up Blackwood's coffin.
This hot topic ass coffin, by the way. This
they really
studded black leather.
It was 2009,
Listen,
what can you do?
if I was still in my goth phase,
that's crazy.
I would like a coffin like that forever. Jesus Christ, what a good thing.
We dig up Blackwood's coffin, and inside this coffin, we find Luke Reardon, buried up to his head, no less, in Earth. Yeah, we're going to get some themes here on occult stuff going on. Crucially, what he also does is while the gravedigger is giving his, ooky, spooky, scary ghost speech, saying, I saw a man rise from the dead, that's probably bad. Holmes steals his watch, because we are about to get that classic scene that gets included in every single Sherlock Holmes adaptation.
Yeah, I can tell from this guy's watch that he was a drunk. It's been marked by a bunch of different pawnbrokers, of which this is next location.
Mm-hmm.
It's marked NL for some reason. I don't know what that. Maybe he was a fan of Northern Lion. I don't know. Oh, next location.
On the way out of this graveyard, I do note that Watson and Holmes turn to each other and quote Shakespeare.
Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George.
Again, this kind of 2009
Britslop. It's Britslop
kind of shit, right? Like, we're getting a little Union flag about
It's
it.
watching reruns of Have I Got News for You on Dave. And microwaving a thing of beans.
I mean, because like I feel like this is just a thing that happens also with Sherlock Holmes. Oftentimes, because Sherlock Holmes is such a uniquely and strongly British cultural export.
Yeah.
It's more British than most cultural exports, like Jaffa Cakes.
Yeah.
And so Watson suggests a supernatural explanation, and Holmes is like, no, there's no such thing as the supernatural, you silly goose. Let's go to this pawnbroker. And on the way, they get interrupted by a palm reader, an Irish traveler.
Yes.
Another slur incoming.
Oh, they fully deployed
Another
the
slur has hit the movie.
In your future, sir.
Absolutely not.
No, thank you, Mum.
You need to hear what I have to tell you.
We have no need of your lucky heather, woman.
Yeah, the second film is significantly worse on this front. The G-slur counter on that through the fucking roof.
Ooh.
And you wanted to watch that one, curious.
I wanted to watch it because it had textual cross-dressing from Robert Downey Jr. in it.
We're always doing this where it's like, Lucy, we're not watching another Slurs movie.
She really wanted to watch American History X, and I mean, we could, but from a specific lens.
Yeah.
You two are so lucky I'm the editor on this.
This is a prank that Holmes is playing on Watson, by the way, because Watson is looking to get an engagement ring for his wife, and Holmes keeps sabotaging this, and his latest attempt is to hire this woman to taunt him about his fiancée, which does not stop him from, like, he gets some money from his findom, and he buys the fucking ring.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, man. You think I don't love her? Just watch me buy the best second-hand engagement ring that what little allowance you give me will buy, and still have enough change left over to gamble.
This is an interesting dynamic. We play the gambling addiction for laughs here, because he's about to go and leave Holmes to investigate, and then you see him stop by a couple of guys playing, I think, dominoes, and he's like, now wait a second here.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's drawing this comparison between the fact that he is as addicted to the Sherlock Holmes detective life as he is to gambling. You know, Holmes is always trying to drive a wedge in there by being like, come on, you know you want to. And
you see this kind of works because...
Oh, it absolutely works!
We established that Holmes is bad at lockpicking, and so he's struggling with this door. we have to make him bad at something, right? So he's bad at lockpicking. And then he's struggling with this, and then Watson boots the door in because he wants to hang out with this guy. So they discover the laboratory of this guy Reardon, right? He's been cooking up all types of shit.
And imagine just like a Resident Evil style laboratory. Laboratory.png. This is the most laboratory I've ever seen.
When I go to laboratory.
He's going around picking shit up, and he's like, optimistic Cole, this doesn't pertain to the case. You know, we are going to like brush through a lot of this because it's just clues, right?
Yeah, clues for later, because this is one of the key things, and one of the things that makes it really lazy is clues up front, flashback later when Sherlock figures it out, not stressed about it in the meantime.
Yeah, this is a real hang-up that a lot of Sherlock Holmes adaptations have, is their inability to convey intelligence in that way. That sort of, we learn a lot in retrospect about how the thought process works.
We learn that Reardon was working for Blackwood, right? And then some goons come in. And we have to fight the goons. My favorite of these is we have a big guy, right? Yeah. On Kill James Bond, we would refer to this guy as a Mighty Joe at this point.
Video game terminology, you would describe him as the Heavy, I believe.
He's like a mini boss.
But he's French, so we could refer to him as a Mighty Jacques.
Mighty Jacques. And he's ultimately temporarily defeated. He beats the shit out of Holmes, but then Holmes accidentally invents the taser that shoots you 50 feet directly backwards.
Yes.
Which is an invention with, you would think, limited utility, but every time he hits a guy with this, They put him on a fucking winch, basically.
Flies backwards.
I quite enjoy this fight scene. I think it's sort of like, I mean, it's not really Holmes using his brains so much as David Humes. David Humes
so much appears on the stage.
Adam Smith over here.
It's amazing that Holmes outsmarts this guy using a cattle prod that someone else invented, right? Like really using his brains there. It's kind of cheating to just use a taser, right?
It's like by that standard, several women have outsmarted me, but I don't really think that counts if you're just using a cattle prod that already existed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But this is some real wrestling type bullshit.
Yeah, the fight spills over into a shipyard. A lot of this movie you can just gotta like skip over, 30 seconds.
I have a question for this though, which is,
hello.
So Holmes is getting the shit kicked out of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's getting barrels thrown at him by this guy like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
He's getting a ship dropped on top of him. Internally, do you think he's still doing the discombobulated
Every
monologue?
time.
For sure.
We
For
don't
every
see
move,
it, but it's
every
like,
scene.
Like Sigma mode, get hit in face with barrel.
This mustn't
Like,
register
stumble
on it.
backwards.
Discombobulate.
This mustn't register on an emotional level.
He's charging his discombobulate and he's only getting up to like Bob.
I will say, I think that Robbie Downey Jr. here earns his acting chops and his physical comedy chops for one scene only, which is him going over and trying to pick up a large mallet, but he's too small. And so he just goes,
good.
And he can't lift it. And then Dredger, the heavy, just waltzes over, picks it up one-handed.
Pleasant. Yeah.
Like it's a fun movie in that sense. Like it is. It's not very deep, but it's funny. It's a little silly.
Exactly. And it is very loud and quite long. And so, depending on the time of day you watch it, you might have a better time than others. But,
it's true.
This is such a movie that you would bring like your dad to watch. Like your dad visits and you're like, let's go watch a movie. And you can watch Sherlock Holmes 2009 and everyone will have a good time.
I watched this movie in cinemas and it was one of the rare occasions that my dad took me to the movies. It was, in retrospect, now that I think about it. Yeah.
I don't remember what the last movie I saw with my dad was. Anyway, Watson saves the day, right? He sort of forces Dredger to flee. They drop the ship into the Thames where it sinks, and the two of them, having been almost killed, reconcile.
Well, I mean, sort of, yeah.
A bit. Yeah, Holmes sort of like does the almost apology thing. One hyperfixation. Guy Ritchie loves barbecuing. Cannot get enough of it, to the point that in The Gentleman, or The Gentleman, to give it its English title, there's a whole sequence involving an expensive outdoor barbecue that Guy Ritchie owns one of and maybe has a stake in the company that sells them, I guess. And it really makes a big deal of how cool this barbecue is. And so when Holmes is like, we could go out to Mycroft's place and throw a lamb on the spit, I'm like, Guy Ritchie, you barbecue-liking motherfucker, you've done it again. Worked your special interest.
It's already gone on the fucking Barbie, mate.
I didn't know I shared the special interest. I love grilling.
Well, this is the thing. I have a completely different reading of this emotionally, which is like...
Yeah, you think Guy Ritchie doesn't care about barbecue.
This registers on an emotional level.
It's interesting that Watson goes over to try and save Holmes from being crushed by a ship. I don't know what he's expecting to achieve there, just like to die alongside him or something. But this scene, it doesn't strike me as an apology from Holmes at all. It strikes me as like continued manipulation, because Watson is like, why the fuck do I hang out with you? You treat me like shit. And Holmes is like, oh, well, you're just being emotional. Come with me. We'll go to my brother's place in the country. Just us two lovebirds, and it'll be fine. Leave the fiancé at home. And Watson's like, I fucking hate you, man. You're ruining my life.
Yeah. They go to jail, and we do the usual suspects bit here. So Watson is bailed by his fiancée. Holmes is bailed by Lestrade, because he has like...
Well, he gets picked up by Lestrade, but he's bailed by the very serious order of wizards.
Friends in high places.
Yeah, rich weirdos have bailed you. I would love for rich weirdos to pay my bail.
Rich wizard weirdos. It's the fun part.
Yeah, the wizard part I don't love. He gets in this carriage and a guy goes, I'm terribly sorry to inconvenience you, sir, but I'm going to have to put this on you, and then blindfolds him.
I have never been black-bagged in the back of a car, much less been able to tell where I was going in that context.
You're not telling where you are, I can tell you that much.
How would you tell? How would you know?
Because of the time that, well, one of the times, because the first time that I got black bagged in the back of a car, actually. Which, yeah, no, it was a good time.
Fun way to spend a Friday.
I once got black bagged when I was a cadet to practice anti-interrogation training. And they never taught us how to learn where we were, but they did teach us to flip people off as much as possible. So that was fun.
I think you two were in the cadets for far longer than I was.
if the cadets had the fucking SEER school experience, I would have a reason for why I'm like this, but I don't. I'm just like I'm left with a kind of, this is an autochthonous weirdness about me. You know?
So they take off the black bag in the office of whoever this person is, and
boss wizard.
He's like, I'm sure that you'll never be able to work out where you are. And Holmes is like, well, I could smell from the delicious and unique way that one crisp factory crispens their potato snacks that we are exactly at this 3 words location.
As to the mystery, the only mystery is why you bothered to blindfold me at all.
Yes, well, standard procedure, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, fine, I guess I'll tell you about the Secret Order of Wizards then. He's just like really pissed off about this. Is like, take the fucking piss, you know? We got all this mystique.
The Secret Order of Wizards brackets for good rather than for evil.
They're the good Illuminati.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name of the Secret Order of Etsy witches that control the world from the shadows.
They're all part of the British government.
Yeah, one of them's the Home Secretary, one of them's the American ambassador, right? They're the hidden hand that controls the shape of things, and we like the Empire in this, so that we think that that's good.
The Home Secretary called Lord Coward of all the normative determinism.
So specifically what happens is the boss wizard, Sherlock, intuits that Lord Blackwood is his illegitimate son. Right? And there's a kind of Damien from the Omen thing going on. Yeah.
Conceived during like a secret magic ritual.
Yeah, during the wizard after party, right? Where everybody just starts fucking. And now he has become like a terribly powerful wizard who is like intent on revenge on all of them. And I hear the line, his secret lies in this book of spells. This is the source of his power. And I pause, realize I'm watching a Sherlock Holmes film, and that there is an hour left of the Sherlock Holmes film.
It's going to take him a while to check that book of spells for some reason.
So he agrees to take the case, but not for them, and he won't get paid for it, which bag fumbled.
But also, like, it gave me, like, watching this movie, the thought, then why is this scene here the way it is? Like they could have done all of this in such a different way. Why does Sherlock Holmes need to be here to say no to them? Like, they could have these characters have their own plot where they try to foil Blackwood and then be discovered as they fail at that by Holmes. But no, he has to. Everything has to revolve around Holmes as the narrative goes forward. So this scene where he goes like, "You need to stop him because magic is real," and he goes, "Magic isn't real." And then he leaves.
Well, but also the thing is that he, this is a shady, Illuminati secret order that have internal democratic processes. So they are scared that the Nepo baby is going to get elected to the head of this order. And once he gets elected, he can like change the law system from within.
Yeah, he's going to be like a kind of Jeremy Corbyn figure to them.
Exactly.
So he goes to see Irene to try and warn her off. And there are several of this genre of joke I've written in, and you can just edit them out. I assume you already do, because my note is, I hate when a beautiful woman drugs me and kisses me as I fall unconscious.
No, I leave those in. Why? I'm trying to, why would I cock block you like that?
Thank you. It's important. I like it when the listeners have that sort of like surface to grab onto. Speaking of surfaces to grab onto, he wakes up handcuffed, right? Because his deal is he's trying to convince her to run.
Yes,
right?
By quoting the Dexys Midnight Runners song, "You're in over your head, Irene." And and she roofies him using a poisoned bottle of wine that she has melted the wax on, shut again, having injected it with, I don't know, GHB or something. How his powers of deduction suddenly didn't notice the fact that there was, melted scorch marks around the wax is anyone's guess.
Irene Adler is his weakness.
It's human kryptonite rather than like genuinely outsmarting him.
to be a detective. Very common theme.
Well, the thing is that so often Irene Adler is there to, weaken Sherlock Holmes and bring him intellectually down to a level where she can win over him, as opposed to her being genuinely smart enough to outfox him at his best.
Oh, women don't do that, do we?
They can't be allowed to.
I'm going gorilla mode behind the camera. Like, this infuriates me so fucking much. Women are not allowed to be smart.
We cut to the head Etsy witch, the Lord Blackwood's father, Lord Rotherham, who is taking a bath in this enormous copper bathtub. And what we see here is Lord Blackwood achieve that one goal that is written about so commonly in all of Sigmund Freud's writings, which is the innate male fantasy to murder your dad using a lush bath bomb.
Yeah. He said that.
You don't even have to use the whole bath bomb, right? When they do the demos in store, they only use half of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can save so much on bath bombs by just cutting them in half.
Why is this cheese grater by the bath? I could shave my bath bomb.
Listen, this is tech. This is news that you can use. This is consumer savings offered to you from the least expected place.
Exactly.
Don't use the whole bath bomb.
Why doesn't he just get out of the bath? Is he stupid? I don't know. But
I mean, with cost of energy these days, you don't want to waste the hot water.
yeah, tell me about it. We come back to the hotel room, and we get this sort of scene where, having been roofied by Irene Adler, he is then apparently stripped naked and handcuffed to the bed to be discovered by the chambermaid. And this is sort of hits like I don't know, another Guy Ritchie kind of thing that is across a lot of his filmography that I don't especially like, of like just the people who are too woke these days.
Yeah.
Of course, she misinterpreted my intention entirely.
Naturally so.
That's why I find this modern religious fervor so troubling. There's no latitude for misunderstandings.
Faith runs right over reason sometimes.
This is justified a bit by the subsequent scene, right? Because he's rescued by PC Clark, right? Who should, by rights, be one of those theological implications, Mr. Holmes guys.
He's got jokes.
Houston as PC Clark. He's a better Lestrade than Lestrade is.
Yes, no, I agree.
I think they realized that he was good in this and like used him more than perhaps they intended to, but I more than this, like, replace Eddie Marson, if you ask me.
Yeah, he's really funny. There's this one line which always makes me chuckle.
And chambermaids were once such a liberal breed.
My wife's a chambermaid. Anyhow.
Yeah, completely deadpan. then at the end of the thing was like,
Just joking about the wife.
It's beautiful. It's amazing. Just the relief on his face is just
wonderful.
I like
wonderful.
it. I like it. So we then go to the bathtub scene where we are like investigating. The LA Noire Clue music is in the background, and he's like, "Why did you drain the bath water? Sorry, why did you drain the bath water? We have had earth and water.
Whoa.
I wonder what could possibly come next in this sequence." And Holmes gives them the runaround, sort of like sending them on wild goose chases, looking for bath salts because he's a drug addict and he wants some bath salts.
Yes, so that he can get into the secret ritual room and steal a bunch of ritual objects from the like wizard stuff. Yeah. At this point, the American ambassador, right, is like going to the secret order of wizards. And he's like, we've got to do something about this guy, Lord Blackwood. He's like institutionally anti-Semitic or whatever. Yeah. And he finds that Lord Coward is already
this is a
there.
very politically confused metaphor we're going here on. We're going to walk that back pretty well in a bit.
I would say so, given that we are talking about a secret society that controls politics. That's no good. Yeah.
Lord Blackwood reforms as an independent and forms a new political party of wizards.
Yeah, it's called Restore Britain, because in this case, he's there. He's already seized power. Coward is like already his guy, and he says to this American, "Oh, by the way, Britain's taking back America," which is a real
we're gonna reconquer America and then the world. And it's like, okay,
British director trying to get American audience to care.
Yeah, he comes in wearing a hat that just says "Make America Britain Again." It's Tory slop, right?
Yeah, so our upstanding, responsible, liberal American patriot magician
with this long cape and moustache,
he's becoming more wizard-like too as we go.
Yeah, the United States will never bow to foreign tyranny. By the way, I can cast fireballs. Not intentionally, though. Because
but what I do like about this is also like the American ambassador, I think, might be one of the only characters in the entire movie to respond to this situation by pulling a gun.
Yeah, he locks him.
Yeah, that's really good. Just like, because all of the other stuff is like Masonic bullshit, and he's like,
I cast gun.
I brought this gun from home. This is my country's magic.
This is the thing, because on the way in, he's been drenched in some kind of strange-smelling liquid that looks like rain, but who knows whether it is or not. He takes out his gun, and upon firing it, he turns into a big ball of fire. We have now had earth, water, and fire.
Someone replaced all of his bullets with a necklace of fireballs, which, as we know, when struck, casts it at a 9th level, entirely obliterating the shop.
Internet, we've got to do Angels and Demons, the Dan Brown Da Vinci Code sequel.
This death makes it seem like Blackwood just straight up has really powerful magic. And all the other wizards of the Wizard Council kind of drink from like a big cup.
Yeah, they pledging
their fealty to him. And all of these people are also like members of parliament and high members of like the British government, which becomes important as we go on, because we then go back to
Baker Street, where Clark brings them a body, right? Just like next location's in here, probably. And they do some sciencey bullshit. I do like that they're not afraid to make Holmes a bit of a buffoon here. Watson gets to do some of the heavy lifting and be ahead of him for once, which is pleasing and suggests that maybe he actually does need him.
Well, but it's also the addict thing, right? He's like walked into Watson's, recovery room and just slammed down a dram on the table in front of him and be like, I'm just going to leave this here.
It doesn't say like good relationship or good working relationship between those two as much as it says codependency.
Oh, deeply.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is toxic as hell.
So they go to next location where a dead guy worked, which is a factory on the banks of the Thames.
The Machine for Pigs from A Machine for Pigs.
I wrote down the Machine for Pigs from Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs.
Yeah.
How pleasing.
I know.
Yeah.
At separate times, on different days this time. Wonderful.
It's an abattoir, right? And this is like an obvious series of traps, but then the trap is baited by Blackwood appearing scarily out of nowhere like a vampire. That's important to know.
It's also a laboratory as well. It's clear that Reardon has been here.
Irene Adler was here. Either that, the ginger mint, or the same Parisian perfume.
We get Lord Blackwood being ooky spooky and sort of vanishing.
Yeah, being a vampire, doing vampire stuff.
And we get what is now, the Irene Adler suspension bondage scene.
With the cleave gag, I don't like that I know the term of art for that, but why wouldn't I? I've alluded to the same thing several times about myself. It's fine.
Scenes that ended up being influential in a different way to me, I guess. This is meant to be a kind of saw trap, essentially. Is the
I described it as an escape room, but yes, Irene Adler has been captured and put in an easily escapable situation with a series of traps.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty tense, to be honest. There's a bit where like the bandsaw like takes his hat off. Like you get the real sense that it like left it to the last second to be able to get out of
the
there.
bandsaw was pretty spooky.
Yeah.
She's suspended on a hook that is like in this pig processing plant that is being carried first through some fire and then to a bandsaw.
As much as I need to be put in a suspension bonded situation, it is kind of shit how often Irene Adler ends up as a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
At one point, he literally says to her while she is like terrified and dangling and bound and gagged, like, in over your head yet, darling.
Yeah.
Which, first of all, been there as well, but second of all, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
This is also the second rule of threes about Holmes being terrible at lockpicking here, is they have to get out at the last second because he can't, like, pick the locks on the handcuffs that she's in.
Yeah, which is, nice from a screenwriting perspective.
Sure.
The thing you can say about Lord Blackwood, though, is that he doesn't, just rely on the one elaborate trap to kill all of them. He has a backup plan, and the backup plan is bomb.
Yeah, thus making this a VBIED, a vampire-baited IED.
Yeah, we get some slow-motion explosions, which, I don't know, this scene is long.
Ridiculous overuse of sad violin music. Like, Watson blows up, not fatally because, like, come on, and it shifts to, like, basically like Mendelssohn at this point. It's like
sort of the Schindler's List soundtrack over an explosion.
Yeah, very close to it, yeah. The emotional weight this is accruing is not marry up with what's actually happening, which is a bomb.
But they survive, miraculously.
Our boy PC Clark saves Sherlock and tells him
there's a
that
warrant
Watson's
out
alive.
for his arrest and tells him to flee the scene.
Because the Home Secretary controls the police. Nurses work for doctors.
What?
You don't know about that one? That's
I do
that's
not.
a
What the
KJV.
hell
That's a
is that?
KJV original. It's a really duff line in something we did where they a guy has the realization that like, oh, it was a nurse, and nurses work for doctors.
I did not see that episode of KJB, apparently. Irene Adler goes to visit Moriarty on the train, tries to get out of the contract.
Well, she tries to leave. And
Yeah.
like he shows up being like, you can't leave.
On the updated version, this is crazy because it is Jared Harris talking into a Blue Yeti. It's got a bit of room tone. It sounds worse than I do. It's like...
Gee whiz. Yeah, it just like menacingly, no, you can't just get out of the being a criminal mastermind business.
Yeah.
I control you now.
A goon can't stop being a goon.
I don't know how Irene Adler survived that as well. She's fine, apparently. Not even tinnitus, just,
Yeah, she's just fine. Watson's in hospital being tended to by a mysterious German doctor who, credit to her,
looks exactly like Robert Downey.
his fiancée immediately clocks as being Sherlock Holmes, right?
Yeah,
I
is
do
that the
like
best
that.
you can do? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, no, my name is Dr. Friend, nice man.
I mean, he does also look exactly like Robert Downey Jr., so I mean, it's not that great of
Yeah.
a disguise.
Well, yeah, every disguise that Robert Downey Jr. has in this just looks like him. There's no way that you are fooled by it for a single second.
So, like, me in a year 6 PE lesson, he's like, what if I solve this by thinking about it really hard? And unlike me in a year 6 PE lesson, he decides to do this by sitting in front of a big Peaky Blinders wall, plucking his thinking violin,
Yes.
remembering things people have said to him.
He takes one bong hit of the salvia pipe and just decides that, you know, the best way to solve this case would be to hallucinate clues and solutions. That's very, you know, reliable memory is to be able to just, you know, be very drugged up for the entire thing. But he solves it. It does require Irene Adler, like, injecting him with some naloxone to wake him up or whatever. A little flash scene where it sort of almost looks like she's giving him CPR. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, Watson says of him, you look gorgeous.
You look gorgeous.
Again, kiss him.
Kiss
that
him
man.
on his mustachioed mouth. Yeah.
So Sherlock, in his sort of like haze, is like, have you read From Hell? It's a very good graphic novel. Imagine if the future episode will do the fucking terrible Johnny Depp movie adaptation that I just remembered exists. Oh, this harms me.
It's inaccurate enough to be false crime.
Ow.
But it is based on real killings. So is it true crime?
I consider From Hell to be false crime, given that it does change a lot.
And so Holmes gives his explanation. This is the Poirot in the drawing room scene of, like, I am now revealing all the stuff.
This is Robert Langdon, professor of symbology at Harvard University, arriving on scene. This type of thing was in vogue.
Yeah. The White Hoods doesn't have to be the KKK. It's actually the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
Do you remember the big image of the Sphinx that appeared constantly throughout this film at multiple different occasions that we are mentioning on this podcast for the first time here in the resolution? But he says, look, well, the thing about a Sphinx is that it's made up of 4 parts.
It's made up of 4 parts. The foot of a lion, the tail of an ox, the wings of an eagle, and the head of a man.
Even though it's very obviously the head of a woman that he's drawn, which is interesting. And he then runs through all the ways in which this
Hold on, is that the only trans character we can find?
Yeah, the Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
Yeah, the Sphinx.
T-Boy Sphinx.
And he then lists all of the victims, and he says that, well, you know, the ox is obviously Lord Rotherham because he had a ring that had an ox on it as a symbol of the secret society. The eagle wings, that's because it's America, because the symbol of America is an eagle, so that's the American ambassador. And the head, is that's Luke Reardon because he was a guy, I reckon.
It's a man.
Yeah, that's a man.
That's
He
a
had a head.
person.
That's a man, I think.
Yep.
So flawless.
And then the lion is supposed to be the House of Parliament.
Must be doing some kind of wind-based attack on them since we've done the other elements, right?
Yes, like the ox died of water, man died of earth.
Quite
So
right.
he gives Watson a set of instructions as Lestrade bursts in and arrests Holmes.
Yes.
Right?
Takes him to the Houses of Parliament.
Yep. takes him in front of Lord Coward.
This is where we learn that Eddie Marsan is evil and in league with conservatives.
Yeah. He's been in the fucking like wizards order, turns out.
The evil wizards.
And so he gets to like punch Holmes in the stomach and be like, yeah, he's all yours. My lord, evilly.
Yeah, and we get the big twist that Lord Coward is evil, I guess. This is supposed to be a big twist because we're supposed to believe that, like, the secret order of wizards can have a good faction, I guess.
I hate when I go to see my beloved friend Lord Dipshit, and it turns out he's actually my hated enemy, Lord Evil.
Yeah, and we get some very 2009 politics because this is, like, the Gordon Brown administration. We have not yet had David Cameron. Brexit is not even sort of being mentioned in any real way. So the looming spectre of fascism has a degree of novelty to it narratively at this stage, rather than something that's just kind of,
you're so right.
Oh, well, that happened, I guess.
He's taunting Sherlock. There's an unexpected Sophocles quote here, which is such a like guy who just Googled wisdom and put the first result into the thing. Yeah, how terrible is wisdom when it brings no profit to the wise? Which I was sort of like, Sophocles? I wasn't expecting to run into you here.
Well, you know, Sherlock Holmes is all about being clever, so we have to go to Google and type in smart quotes.
Quotes to own smart guy with. Which, in fairness, I do kind of like if Coward is doing that sort of like diegetically.
I can absolutely believe that Lord Coward is going and getting the Webster's Encyclopedia of Witty Comebacks and
what's the sickest read on someone who's smarter than me?
Yeah, well, your mom.
This is something that I think people who are too young don't know, but like this was a huge genre of books before Google was a thing. Like they would make books that was just like books to do fun comebacks at smart people at work and during business meetings. That would be like a book, and you would go to your library and you would read it and you would feel very smart. Then Google came.
Failing to realize that there is nothing more lame than a pre-rehearsed comeback. Just agony.
We've all done it, though.
You can smell it immediately. And speaking of smell, Holmes goes, I'm going to use my incredible powers of deduction to tell where you've been having these secret meetings. And by amazing power of deductions, I mean, I can smell, and you smell like shit, mate.
A faint aroma of excrement from where you've been standing.
That's
You smell like
I
a
did find
sewer.
that kind of funny. The big scent of excrement.
You've gone a bit nose blind because you were down there for a while. Still very pungent. It's on the wind. I'm downwind of you here. I'm surrounded by smoke because I've been creating a smoke screen.
Can still smell the shit.
Still smell it.
Yeah, he blocks the chimney to create a smoke screen. He picks the handcuffs effortlessly, paying off the rule of threes. And then, as Coward shoots at him, he, I guess, must have tased himself because he hits a 50-foot horizontal Max Payne 3 dive out of that window.
Exactly, yeah.
Magical.
Beautiful. The scene is sort of like, you can tell it was put in to gear up for a shot of Holmes leaping out of the Houses of Parliament, right? That's what we're here for. And he gets picked up by Watson and the old ship's captain that they had enlisted the help of earlier. And I note that the boat is called the Lucy.
Yeah.
God bless me and all who sail in
Aww.
me. They get taken to the opening of the sewers, I think, is the next place.
Regrettably, we now explain the Lestrade face turn, where it's like, oh, and by the way, I talked Lestrade into this the whole time because I'm Sherlock Holmes.
And actually, I didn't pick the locks. He just gave me the key. So he is still shit at picking locks.
Rule of 2.5.
Yeah, we remember that Eddie Marsan is playing a fictitious character where he's a good guy. We do some sneaking in the sewer level that ends this movie, and we realize that we've had fire, we've had earth, we've had water, and we're now going to have an airborne chemical weapon that is going to pipe cyanide gas into the Houses of Parliament. And before you say let them cook, which would be illegal. It is a contraption that is built out of like clockwork and gears and brass, and it is very aesthetically
bullshit.
It's very steampunk.
I love clockwork. I was like, I was never any good at, maths or anything like that, but my particular hyperfixations as a kid led me to be very aesthetically pleased by clockwork. I do not know why, I just find it very beautiful.
They're debating as what to do, and Irene is the one who goes operator mode and goes in shooting.
Guns blazing.
This sparks another long fight scene, which has some more martial arts, which this is where we start slipping on being able to see stuff again.
Irene Adler here dressed how I would love to dress and how I was trying to dress pre-transition.
We gotta take you to the tweed suit store brackets for women.
God knows, I need to be able to afford surgery at some stage, but who knows? Maybe if I can set aside enough budget
surgery,
for that.
only tweed. Only tweed.
Patreon.com/BKStallCrimes. While this is happening, Blackwood is also appearing before Parliament, and it has been established that they're going to kill everyone and all members of Parliament at noon, and the time, the clock is ticking.
Apart from his guys who are linking arms like a fucking police riot squad, or there's a sort of a line of scrimmage at the doors of the House of Lords.
They're trapping everyone inside.
Which is a really conceptually funny thing to do.
And he's having a big fascism speak.
He arrives and he's like, "Ooh, I'm going to do Brexit.
I have returned to fulfill England's destiny and expand the boundaries of this great empire." So again, we're empire good unless it tries to get bigger. Then it's bad.
Yeah.
But as it happened, it just got the way that it was by accident, basically.
This far and no further. Very, very strange ideological message. There are bits of this film that I enjoy from a swashbuckling perspective, but both the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies are ideologically very odd.
So they win the fight initially, and I do like here, this is the most accurately I think anyone's ever depicted Dr. John Watson as a British soldier, in that as Adler and Holmes are trying to figure out how to disarm the thing, we cut to Watson, who is simultaneously shooting at the ground with one hand, hitting a guy with the other hand, and kicking a third guy in the ass with one leg.
It's pretty fun.
Magical.
Shouting, "Move it!" Yeah, he's corralling these guys.
It's the most patriotic I've ever felt.
There is something about
Fantastic stuff.
The heavy returns, Dredger, the French guy, and we get possibly my favorite line of the whole movie, where Watson comes up behind him, grabs him from behind, and just says to Holmes, "That's him!" I crack up every single time.
That's him.
Yeah, and Holmes, cattle prods himself in the ass to launch across the room and smack him right on the soft part of Dredger's face with the hard part of his face. Ooh. It is immaculate. I love that bit.
When he tells him to nut him, he's hitting the Maltese Falcon special move of pulling the guy's coat down over his shoulders.
It's never fails. It's a good move.
Yeah.
And while they're trying to disarm the device, they also mentioned that the device, this clockwork steampunk machine, is full of cyanide gas.
Yeah.
So all of the magic that they're gonna get to this more a bit later, but the magic isn't real. It's just fun technology, new technology for the 1800s.
Stage illusions.
Clockworks and radio shit and electricity. That this is just cyanide gas. They're just gonna pump cyanide gas into House of Parliament because gas warfare isn't a thing yet.
Yeah, it's got like a radio detonator that Blackwood can hit, and so they disarm it. Adler takes the gas, right?
Yeah,
I do appreciate Blackwood here hitting the detonator, and when his special move doesn't work, he just leaves. Just well, I'm cooked, see you later. Leaves Coward to clean up.
I had one plan and no contingency, so I'm just silent.
Yeah. It's just this thing, I'm clicking the button, doesn't work, turned it off, turned it on again. Okay, well, peace out.
It's a dreadful new technology for the 20th century, Mr. Holmes. It's called the channel changer. They have invented the remote control.
Some kind of wireless, fireless.
The tele remote. I don't know what a telly is yet, but it's the television. Once we invent the television, we'll have a use for the remote.
The law makes sense.
Yes.
So, the implication is that Blackwood is going to conquer the world using gas warfare. Is the thing, right? Because Holmes says something along the lines of this will revolutionize warfare, and
it would do
while he's having the big fascism speech.
And so we get the final climactic fight scene on top of Tower Bridge under construction, which is a very impressive set. I think I quite like it, tying it back to the what an industrious empire admiration for this kind of shit.
There's a lot of swinging around in very CGI environments that make me write down the phrase crystal maze ass. Adler gets thrown off the bridge. Luckily, she only falls like 5 feet, which is fine. You can survive
hitting
that.
the perfect Family Guy death pose as well.
Also true. Something kind of worth noting here is all this time with Adler, he's been calling her woman.
Yes, I do not like this.
Like, the line that this is cribbing from, right, is to Sherlock Holmes, she is always the woman, right? The woman. Him just calling her woman is kind of like, he should be a way more interesting and less functional misogynist than that, you know? Like, this is, as far as we're concerned, the kind of incel who thinks that he has found the only woman on Earth who can think. Like, this is conceptually kind of more interesting than that.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
I was interested by the fact that, like, it is a term of reverence in the books in its own way.
Yeah, no, certainly. The woman.
And here is just something that Bernard Manning might scream at his wife while telling her to, like, you know, hurry up with the tea.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't strike me as especially reverential.
So here's a fight scene with Blackwood, who gets really entangled in a about to fall off the bridge type situation.
He's like, here are all the secrets that the magic circle won't tell you.
Yeah, it was all just chemistry.
Conjuring tricks, yeah. Imagine that every clue that we've set up here gets paid off.
It was all one man, turns out. Terrorized everyone.
They managed to hold together a several-ton tombstone using eggs and honey. Very impressive.
Yeah, he pre-cracked the multi-ton sandstone slab, and it's like, I saw those chunks. Each chunk individually would be way too heavy for a person to move.
No matter which side of transition the egg was on.
Even if you like pretended to heal it up again.
Sherlock does save his life in order to have him hanged later, only for him to reach for an axe. And we get the suggestion that, of course, we hedge, right? Maybe magic is real, because Sherlock goes, you probably better hope that magic isn't real, because if magic is real, you did all of those rituals and now somebody's got to be the human sacrifice. At this moment, the girder fucking, like, takes out part of the bridge, just drops out of nowhere.
And the chain goes very taut, implying that Blackwood's been hanged.
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing that we have had no explanation for thus far is the spooky raven that arrives outside of every murder scene to be an ominous portent of a murder to come.
Magic real?
Bird magic real.
He goes and arrests Irene.
She turns to him and says, sequel hook.
The sequel hook is, I've never woken up in handcuffs before, which, sorry for being built different, I guess. But we can't not make Irene Adler love him, even though she's way more powerful and interesting a character if she just doesn't. They have this little moment on the bridge.
But Holmes does slip her some handcuff keys into her bra, in the same way that Inspector Lestrade slipped some handcuff keys into his bra earlier in the movie.
It's all just handcuff keys and bras with these people.
He also steals her necklace, the Maharaja's missing diamond, because he's, you know, he's a lawful good or chaotic good, I guess. This is supposed to represent that he's, like, not even willing to go along with the mischief and the master thievery with someone that he loves. A little bit of a Maltese Falcon moment there, I guess.
I guess also maybe a little bit of character growth, because in the beginning he was a lot more mischievous.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's the implication. Again, it's not good character growth necessarily. It's not well written, but it's something.
It's a bait and switch, right? Because, like, what we then get in the epilogue is, you know, Watson is moving house. He is unpacking all the things from Baker Street. And it turns out that Holmes has gifted the Maharaja's missing diamond to Mary as an engagement ring to replace the one that Watson lost earlier. So maybe he's still a bit of a stinker. There's still something of the, like, chaotic
a little
in
bit.
there.
He's a rake. He's a roue. Sherlock Holmes is hanging himself.
Just casually.
I like this. This is the first bit of, like, Sherlock debauchery that's worked for me. You just present this as, like, listen, the contortions of this dude's mind, you don't even know, but he would do this.
But he doesn't actually hang himself. He's, like, showing how Lord Blackwood faked his own death in the very beginning of the movie with, like, a harness.
Complicated suspension bondage. Yes.
And I feel like a harness, like, yes, you know, you can fake your way by someone putting a weird hook on the thing instead of it actually being a proper noose. And yes, you can fake your pulse by taking some type of chemical, but putting on a whole ass harness and keeping the harness on while you're being pronounced. Like, did no one notice the big ass harness?
Well, it's made up of belts that he's been stealing over the course of the entire movie. He pinches Watson's belt at one stage. He's like, "Don't get excited," but he's thinking about hanging himself the entire time.
But did Lord Blackwood do the same? Did he steal the belts of every other prisoner while he was waiting to be hanged?
And Watson's like, "No, suicide's not in his repertoire. He just constantly talks about killing himself, but he'll come round eventually."
Mood.
And we see the police officer arrives.
That's so real.
And we get the final sequel hook, sir.
Professor Moriarty, Mr. Holmes, he's the Napoleon of crime.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to be in another one of these films.
A weirder one. We're going to get so much less woke about Romani travellers, sir.
Sir, you have to say the slur, sir.
You know, it's part of the job description as a British police. We have to. They've brought in the police crime bill. We got to get way worse on this issue.
Yeah, an officer of the Metropolitan Police enters and is like, "Have you considered being more racist about GRT people?" It's like...
Yeah,
I'm not surprised to hear this from you.
Mm-hmm. So that was 2009's Guy Ritchie's Sherlock Holmes. How do we feel?
God, it's fine.
I'm sorry that the crystals did not align.
I had a good time.
Listen, I expected a romp. It could have been a romp so easily. I remember it fondly. I remember the second one fondly, and now every time we've mentioned it, it's been in the context of it being more racist, so I'm less confident about that now.
There are bits of it that are better, there are bits of it that are worse.
But that's how it's like watching movies from 2009. They're all a little bit racist.
Yeah. Deeply ideologically wretched.
How is it transgender?
Because I've lived this dynamic.
Interesting. Okay. Were you the Holmes or the Watson?
Probably the Watson is the thing. When you pre-transition conceive of yourself as being a basically straight guy, I mean, I was openly bisexual, but like had the kinds of caution and trepidation towards being able to explore that side of me that people have when they are repressed. The people that I made friends with were people who conceived of themselves as just being completely gay. And they would be attracted to me in a way that contextualized me as man, specifically. And despite the fact that, there was like a rapport there, it was one that was very strained and made us very bad friends.
Interesting.
And so the way that I experience this is just that, like, this is a model of masculinity that I, in my pre-transition era, found myself inhabiting in my desperation to try and make some kind of hat work. And this is one of the few Sherlock Holmeses where they give him a fedora rather than a deerstalker, you know? It's
interesting. You're suggesting that in gay baiting, right, in an attempt to hit, like, gay couple they have missed and hit repressed trans couple.
Yeah, essentially, in terms of, my own vibing with this is the fact that this is a dynamic between two people who are not on the same page about who they are and the nature of their relationship.
Interesting.
And that causes a lot of codependency and friction.
Well, of course we know. We've talked about this before. We know that Sherlock Holmes is transgender, right? Because he has all of the qualities of our community, where it's like, knowledge of astronomy, none. Knowledge of chemistry, none. Knowledge of literature, extensive. Knowledge of hyperpop, dramatic.
I think some of us are pretty decent chemists.
Knowledge of Paradox interactive map games.
Yeah.
Sensory processing disorders through the roof, apparently.
Yeah. I went out to see the eclipse yesterday, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Is this new TNO content? I don't understand. They're adding new content? I thought they only took stuff out.
It's in the new update for the Old World Blues.
Yeah.
You can fascinate a trans woman with a solar eclipse. Did they protect and did they serve? I think we've got three detectives here. We got Holmes, Watson, and Irene Adler.
Yeah. So, I mean, I find myself now in 2026 at the age of 35, Jesus Christ, somewhat immune to the charms of the sort of 2000s and the sort of 2009 sexy man. But I can recognize that it was big at the time. I can recognize that people were very energized by a shirtless Robert Downey Jr. So on that basis, I'm willing to concede that Sherlock might serve.
I think he serves. I think he serves for the sunglasses alone, in my mind. Those like fucking tiny little black sunglasses.
I do like the little sunglasses, which are, plausibly historical as well.
Watson sometimes serves, other times...
I think Watson serves. I think it's difficult to be played by Jude Law and not serve.
Irene Adler in this absolutely also serves, in my opinion. Especially
of course.
the riding boots. Oh my god. Mia, Serbs across the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can dissent if you want to.
No, I mean, the way I watched this entire movie, and by the end of it, I was just like, no unserving to me.
That's
this is
reasonable.
like my seismograph did not go off for anyone at any
It's
time.
the Guy Ritchie-ness of it.
Too much of a bloke.
It's too much bloke.
It is blokey. It's blokish.
Yeah. What if we took the most transgender detective of all time and put him in a pub brawl? You know,
That's the thing. Yeah, it's too blokey.
It's a cisgender movie, perhaps, of a transgender character. Maybe that's the finesse there. The prestige.
Does he protect?
Does he protect? Not really. I mean, he protects Irene Adler, but like...
He protects the integrity of the current British Empire.
Yeah, quite.
That's true. He doesn't protect any of the fuck-ass wizards, though, and they ask him to. And he's like, no.
That's true.
I would say that Watson unambiguously protects here in terms of like swooping in to protect a Holmes that is a self-destructive kind of crash-out mess.
Huge.
From endangering himself.
I would say Watson is the only one who protects, but Watson does all of the protecting.
He does. I think that's the dynamic. Yeah.
Because Irene is always out for herself. Sherlock does not protect, really. He's in it to solve cases because that's what he's about. They don't really linger on the kind of what he gets out of that. They just kind of tell us that he's nothing without a case, you know? He doesn't seem that excited. But anyway, I think that's the rule.
I think that's
Maybe
it.
the next one, maybe the second one will be transgender. Who
Game
knows?
of Shadows.
We'll have a break before we return to Robert Downey Jr.
We will.
There are other Sherlocks to come around again, but next episode on the Patreon bonus feed, we will be doing Black Coal, Thin Ice.
I'm hyped. This is a big swing for me. This is one of my favorite detective films. I showed it to Lucy last night. I hope that you enjoyed it, but I very much did every time. Really, really sparse. Going to be a really interesting discussion, I think. So
I shall get my crystals and line them neatly in a row in front of me.
Yeah, if you're interested in a real sort of November type pick, then this is sort of one of those.
Some people have described it as Disco Elysium, the movie.
Yes,
November
yes.
type pick, in brackets, Chinese.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm not asking you to become Chinese.
We are demanding.
It will happen.
I'm saying that when you go to pick your favorite detective film, it will already be Chinese.
We're entering the Great Chinese Century, baby.
Absolutely.
The Great Chinese Century of next week.
The Chinese century begins next week and does not end for 100 years.
And we will see you there, comrades.
Yeah, subscribe to the Patreon, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Be Gay Solve Crimes. If you like that, you should check out our Patreon, where for as little as £5 a month, you can get access to next week's bonus episode, as well as every bonus episode we have ever done. It's a really good deal now, I think. I would especially like to thank our £10 and above patrons, who are, at time of recording, TB Skyen, Rowena Robot, Transfer Oscar Wilde, Saturday's Claire, Jordan Gammy, Sparky, Robert Greensmith, Chloe Salzenberg, Transfer Productions, Dalton Fitzgerald, Anne Hedonia, April, Femme Butcher, Clocky Galadriel, Athena V, Fenris Mayday, Sonia with a Y, Moss, Hello There Yugi Girl, Kyle Clark, Gil the Gilded Dragon, Audrey Witt Pittman, Balakatina Gaviscon, Yarenko, Codex O'Healy Melcher, Helen, Puppy Toys, Starlight Foxalope, Philip James, Monsieur Squirrel, Cassa, the Reverend is cautiously trialing the name Halcyon for now, or just Hal for short, Syrup Cassin, Racheology, Puppy Toys of the Aureliae, Princess Reese got told she should voice act after barking at work, Persimmon, Shally Wolfie, Storm's Dream, Banana Log probably forgot her meds today. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Charlotte, Red Ash VA, Armored Contempt, Liz Rossi, Maxi Mayu, Whir, Columbo's dog also loves puppy toys, ACXG, Embrace Scunch, Faye, Gwen, wife of the show, The Informant has a dangerous bit planned, a regulator, Brianna the Midwest transplant, the suspiciously woman-shaped pharmacist, Blue forgot her name again, Grace as a dog, woof, maybe not, Charlotte with a D, Maggie Parry Mantell and her dog Patch, Lena Ann Marlin Grills, Ember Eagle, Must Be Zip-Tied, K of Joanna, Doc Bones, McNorsk, K of Joanna, Doc Bones, Wait, where was I? Yeah, you think you can get that one past me? Nerves Nebula, Cassandra with a T, Caitlin would also like to be Puffy Toys. Bean, Space Northpaw, and Bella Bain. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful support, and we will see you next time for Black Coal Thin Ice. Bye.